the speaker next. Okay.
Now I know what you guys are thinking about video games. Since only 42% of the population actually play games, and only 16% actually play more than 10 hours a week. And about the 58% will think that the people who play the 10 hours per week are going to be the complete nerds that are isolated in their rooms, don't get that much hygiene, something like this. Where in reality, in worst case scenarios, it would be more like me. And just because they're isolated in the rooms doesn't mean they're actually isolated. Because although games aren't really the best substitute for face-to-face, nevertheless, though, it could actually be a good alternative in other ways, which will be explained later. So I'll let you know how it affects us. How it will affect actual certain groups, people, and etc. So I found out about Jane, who did a documentary on, which actually her first view on it was negative. But as she was going, she was finding more positives than negatives. So she actually turned around her documentary mid-research and started doing it on a popular game known as World of Warcraft. Yes, I know it sounds like a big nerd game, but if you go into it, it's actually pretty social in there, because you got what would be called guilds, where people actually come together. They'll actually talk every single day. I've actually seen people who would talk about family deaths, because you know what? That's how together everyone is. Because they will get into groups such like this, where they would where their bonds are so strong that they will go into like raids and stuff, where cooperation would take hours on end. It would literally take hours. Where they talk to each other so long they almost know what each other's going to do, or they could say it without even, and they would just do it because they would trust in them, or anyway, because they all trust each other so much. I then found out about Jane McConnell, who then talks about how video games will. But when you play video games, you don't really think about the age or gender, or even race. Now imagine if that was actually taken into real times, where we didn't think about people who were like 32 or 16, we could all just work together, or black or white, male or female. Won't matter. You would all work together, because you're all working using your personalities rather than discriminacy, racism, and all that sort of stuff. Although it can't really be. The only downside is that in games, most 13-year-old or younger are just thrown right out the window. They aren't even given a chance. So, yeah, they aren't really the best to give. And then I got Christina Lasher, who talks about how games actually bring families together, although most families actually don't put it, into practice. Because, like I said earlier, how it bonds like friendship, it works the same thing with family. Because you always remember playing Wii or with your family, and then the fewer people playing like PlayStation. Well, those are just like simple fun games. Imagine if you were playing something like World of Warcraft, where you need the cooperation, because that would actually bond your family actually even more. I've actually seen people where it was sons and mothers and sons, even husbands and wives, and boyfriend and girlfriend. Like, they actually go on there every day with each other, bonding. And then going back to Jane, I didn't forget it. It's just that this is more of a separate topic from her. Which actually, this one I did forget, but Jane got into TM and TED Talk. But she also goes into how, like, she was asked on how this would be compared to sports. And she agreed, or sure, it's even though games isn't like in a physical thing, you find out more about yourselves, about how far you will go in order to reach that goal. Like, I know it's still a game, but you don't want to keep dying every single time. And to wrap it up, like I've shown that it will actually bring friends and family together, and that how it could actually be a good alternative. Might not be the best, but it still could be a good one because you can talk to people miles and miles away, states, countries, planets, from far away, and you're actually able to keep control of those because, unlike face-to-face, you can talk to them instantly. And with that, that's it.